Hello, my dear students of 10th Standard English Medium. Good morning. And once again, I welcome you back in my class of English. And as you can see on the board, we are going to study the first poem of your textbook, First Flight. Okay, so before we start discussing the poem, I would strongly recommend you to open the textbook. So, along with this lecture, you should be able to read the poem, okay, and try and understand the meaning word by word. And after that, we are going to understand it. It's a deep meaning also. Okay, so we will discuss that poem in detail. But before we start discussing the poem, let me just try and give you the brief introduction of the writer, the poet. This poem was written by Robert Frost. As you can see, he was born in 1874 and died in 1963. He won a Pulitzer Prize for Literature on more than one occasion, and he was prominently known as the romantic poet. Okay, here we should not understand the meaning of the word romantic as the kind of romance that we find in the movies and serials and all that. Okay, in literature, the meaning of the word romance is totally different. Romance in literature stands for love of nature. Okay, so basically, he was a nature poet, and in all his poetries, generally, we find the kind of realistic representation of rural life, realistic representation of all the different aspects of nature. And he was also a very, very philosophic in his tone in many of his poems. Okay, he was an American poet, but he lived some part of his life in England also, and he acquired name and fame both in America as well as in England. And even today we are studying his poems. Many of his poems are very, very popular, and readers love to read them over and over. Okay, so this is a very nice poem. It's a very short and sweet poem, but it carries a very deep meaning as well. So, in this lecture, we are going to discuss the poem in two different ways. Firstly, we will understand the poem word by word, the kind of surface meaning, the literal meaning of the poem we are going to understand first of all. And then after, we will try and understand its metaphoric meaning also. Metaphoric meaning stands for the kind of deep meaning which might not be so much obvious for the readers in the first place, but after some time when you try and read the poem over and over, then you will realize that there is something deep, some kind of deep meaning hidden in this poem. So that way we are going to discuss this poem. It's very, very easy to understand the poem in terms of its literal meaning. Okay, so we'll do that. On one side of the board I have written the whole poem. It's a very short poem actually, so it was not very difficult task for me to write the poem overall. Okay, so just in case if you do not have the text in your hand, then this might be helpful, as you may find the poem on the board, written on the board. Okay, and on the other side I have written the meaning of some of the words, some of the new words that you may find in the poem. Okay, these are new words for you. We should not call them as difficult words, because difficult words, that kind of terminology creates a negative meaning in our mind. Okay, so we should not use that word actually. These are new words. Just because you are coming across to these words for the first time, okay, that's why we should call them as new words, right? So let us understand this poem, okay? And as I told you earlier, I'm just trying to explain you the literal word-to-word meaning of the poem. Firstly, this poem represents the personal experience of the poet, okay? On a very normal situation actually. It's not a kind of a big event he is describing in this poem. It's a very normal, common situation that anyone could have come across in his or her life. Okay, but still, how it is so much meaningful in our life, that he has tried to explain us through this poem. Let's try and understand the literal meaning of the poem first of all. I'm going to read this whole poem firstly, and then after we'll discuss the literal meaning of the poem. The way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had rued. That's all for the poem. As far as the reading is concerned, it gives us a very easy and simple meaning actually. That once upon a time, when the poet was alone, okay, and he was standing under a hemlock tree, okay, as he has written. He found that there was a crow sitting on the hemlock tree, and he shook a branch on which it was sitting, okay, and a dust of snow fell on his shoulder. After that, in the second stanza, he starts explaining this particular event, the small event, has given my heart a change of mood. Okay. See, it was a very normal event, a very small event, but this event, it might have happened unconsciously from the crow's side. And it's a very normal event for a kind of other people. It might not have made any kind of difference in the context of our life, but still he clearly mentions that it has given my heart a change of mood. This small event was responsible for changing my mood, and then saved some part of a day I had rued. Okay, the poet at the end of the poem explains us that so far the day was not good for him. It was full of sadness, but this small event was responsible for him to become a little bit more happier, and his mood was swung, his mood was changed, and then he ultimately started feeling better, much better than earlier. Okay, and the rest of the part of the day was saved from sadness or grief. That's what the literal meaning of the poem. Now let us try and understand the metaphoric meaning of this poem. Okay, what is the meaning of metaphoric poem? Okay, what metaphoric meaning? What is the meaning of this particular phrase? Okay, let me explain you this. When a poet tries to write a poem, okay, he tries to convey a particular meaning which might not be straightforward, but it is hidden between the lines of the poem. Okay, the meaning is not very straightforward. It is hidden between the lines of the poem. So, in case if you have a good proficiency over the language, okay, then probably after reading the poem over for 2 or 3 times or maybe more, then only you will be able to grasp the meaning, okay, grasp the meaning of the entire poem, and ultimately you will be able to understand what the poet actually wanted to tell us through his poem. So that's what has happened in this poem as well. As far as the metaphoric meaning of this poem is concerned, firstly, we need to understand the meaning of some new words. Let me try and explain the meaning of these new words for you so that it would be much easier for you to understand the poem later on. Okay? The first word is shook, which is basically the past tense of shake. Okay? Shake means moving some object, okay, repeatedly in the same position. Okay? And it's a verb. So the past tense of the word shake is shook. Okay? Hemlock is a poisonous tree which is generally found in European countries, American countries, and some of the Eastern Asian countries. It's a very poisonous tree. Okay, it has a cone shape and it has white flowers on it, and it's a poisonous tree. The third word is rued, means regretted, having the feeling of sadness or grief in the mind. Okay, again, it's a verb, and the past tense of the verb is rude, and its meaning is regret. Let's discuss about the theme. okay, which is very, very important in context of understanding this poem. Theme means what is the kind of central idea because of which the poet was, prompted to write this poem. The theme I have tried to write in a simplest possible manner. Okay, the theme of this poem is nature is the ultimate cure of sadness. Okay, this particular small sentence explains us so many things. In our life, there are so many occasions on which we find ourselves to be full of with the feeling of sadness and grief. Okay, and some sort of depression is found in every people's lives every now and then. Okay, but depression, sadness, grief, these are the kind of negative words, and they should not prevail on us, on our minds, in our heart, and in our lives for a very long time. We just try and to find out the literal cure, from the nature of the depression. And it's very easy. Okay, it is only the matter of our positive attitude through which we can easily find the cure of depression or sadness. And the cure for depression or sadness is nature. Nature is all around us. But sometimes what happens is we detach ourselves from nature, we disconnect ourselves from nature, and we do not try to mix up with the nature. As I told you earlier, Robert Frost was a kind of a lover of nature, and he has written so many poems on the theme of nature, and he has given us the real representation of nature. In case if you have time in future, okay, in case if you are fond of reading, then in future I'm advising you to read poems written by Robert Frost, poems written by William Wordsworth, and so many other poets of Romantic age, whose poems based on the theme of nature will give you the idea how important nature is for us to live happily. Okay, so what I mean to say is, it is very, very obvious for any person to feel sad, to feel depressed, okay, to have a grief in our mind, because in our lives, even you also might have experienced the same thing, little bit of the same thing in your daily life also. Maybe because of your bad examination result, or maybe because of some particular life event, you might have felt sad for a brief period or maybe for a long period. Okay, sometimes we feel sad without any particular reason also. In our surroundings, in case if we find ourselves alone, in case if we find that we are stable in the same situation, okay, in the same place, and all the objects or all the people surrounding us, and in case if there are no people, then all the objects surrounding us are stable in the same situation. There is absolutely no change in our life. In case if such situation is there in our life, then we feel depressed without any reason also. So probably in this situation, in the poem, the poet was in that kind of situation. He has not explained us in the poem why he was feeling sad. Okay, but we just can imagine that since he was alone, he was with nobody, and he was in the same surrounding for a very long period of time, and probably he had got nothing to do in his life at that time. Okay, that's why he was feeling depressed. So what he did, he changed his position. He came out of his house, okay, and just casually he stood under a hemlock tree, right? And he did not have any further intention rather than standing under the tree. He was probably not even conscious whether he was standing under a hemlock tree. He was just trying to make a little bit of change in his surrounding, in his atmosphere. And casually he went out and he stood under a hemlock tree. And suddenly a natural phenomenon had happened. A crow came on the tree, he sat on one of its branches, okay, and because of a little bit of movement that the crow had made, a dust of snow, okay, which is a sign of happiness, a sign of positive feeling, Okay, these three words, hemlock tree, crow, dust of snow, these three word phrases are used as kind of symbols in this poem. So in case if we talk about dust of snow, then it creates a positivity in our mind. So because of the crow's movement, a dust of snow fell on the poet's shoulder, and he felt cool at that time. And that particular little bit of change changed the mood of the poet completely. And he has written at the end of the poem, okay, save some part of the day I had you. Till now, he was full of sadness. He was unhappy. He was depressed. But this smaller incident was responsible for changing his mood on a positive side. Okay, and whatever part of the day was it was remaining. Okay, probably he had spent it happily with positive change in his mood. So this poem basically explains us nature can automatically bring about a positive change in his life in case if you stay connected with nature. Okay, otherwise this is a very unique poem in terms of its title. In case if you think about title, Dust of Snow, this is not the kind of title we generally come across in different poems or stories or any piece of literature. Okay, but Dust of Snow is a unique title, and even in the poem, the words which have been used, hemlock tree and crow, these two words create a lot of negativity in themselves. Crow is basically we know it very well that crow is not such a beautiful word. When a poet writes a poetry, he or she thinks about in case if they want to use a name of any bird, then they would just try to think about a beautiful bird. Okay, they would try to represent a beautiful plant or a beautiful tree, not such tree as a hemlock tree, not such bird as a crow. Okay, but still in these two aspects, the use of these two other symbols, crow and hemlock tree, this again is a very unique poem. Why he has tried to represent a negativity even in nature? Okay, because the poet probably wants us to understand that certain things we regard as a kind of negative omen in our lives. In case if we think about crow, then it brings about a negative omen, a bad omen in our life. That's what many people say, but it is not as such. Okay, as a living organism, we should equally respect crow as a living organism, just like we respect the other birds or other animals. And as far as the hemlock tree is also concerned, it should be respected just like any other trees as well. So there should not be any kind of negativity for any natural objects or natural aspects. Okay, because nature is always there for you to bring about lots and lots of positivity. So we should not be negative to any aspect of the nature. And that is probably the reason why the poet has preferred to use the kind of words which we actually understand them as negative words. But it is not so, because even these objects can also bring about so much of positivity in your life. Okay, so ultimately the understanding of this poem proves this thing, that nature is the ultimate cure of sadness. Whenever you might miss the message, ultimate message from this poem at the end of this discussion is that whenever you are feeling lonely, whenever you are feeling sad, whenever you are feeling deeply depressed, okay, and when there is nobody around you, okay, always stay connected with nature. It will definitely be responsible for changing your mood on a positive note. Okay, so that is the end of the discussion of this wonderful poem. I hope you have understood it very well. Okay, and in case if you have any particular doubt for this poem, you can contact me. Okay, and I will send you the notes of this poem later on through our Google Classroom app. Thank you very much, and you have a great day.